Hoover High School. Private Brooks School. Darnell Washington, University of Georgia. Dan Moore Jr., O-line U. Isaac Silmarlo, Oregon State. Brian McCollum, Texas A&M. Mason McCormick, South Dakota State. Ryder Jones, Georgia.
Jones, part of a very changed offensive line. You heard the center, Ryan McCollum. He is the 9th different starter on the offensive line. 5 different combos to begin this season. It begins at the 30 and begins with Najee Harris off one of his best games as a Steeler in the win at Las Vegas last week. It's a game of 40. So Russell Wilson injured his right calf right at the start of training camp, re-aggravated it before week 1. These his numbers from last year, his second season with Denver. It was better than the first season. With the 10 years in Seattle, won a Super Bowl, and now can he find the magic again?
And he told us he pulled the muscle pushing a sled. Only for a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
On the first one, and Wilson to the air. Just a little dump pass. Complete to the big tight end, Darnell Washington. First down across the 45, just shot of midfield.
Great job making it look like run up there and then just sneak out to the outside. This is what happens when Najee Harris has the kind of day that he had last week. The play action starts to work, and if you're trying to not miss your first pass, Darnell Washington, a good thing, a good guy to target.
6'7", 265. From the 49, Najee on the bounce to the outside, into Jets territory. First down, still on his feet. Harris to the 43-yard line. 18 rough and tough yards for Najee Harris.
One of the things that's going to come up here, Brandon Eccles is playing the quarterback for DJ Reed tonight for the Jets. And he's not a big guy. He's about 5'10", 180 pounds, and Najee Harris has to look like an 18-wheeler coming around the corner on him.
6 yards, 36-yard touchdown run. Najee Harris ran with that physicality and passion that we got used to watching his first few years in the league. First and 10, a Wilson throw. Scrambling out there, got away from a would-be sack. It picks up about a yard against this Jets defense.
Iowa State. Quentin Williams, Winona High School, Ron Kinlaw, South Carolina. Michael Quillett, Texas A&M. Jamie Sherwood, C.J. Mosley, Alabama. Quincy Williams, Murray State. Sauce Gardner, Cincinnati. Ashton Davis, California. Tony Adams, Illinois. Brandon Nichols, Kentucky.
First touchdown, 3 starters missing. DJ Reed, Chuck Clark, the safety, and Michael Carter, the nickel. There's good Jets defense, undermanned tonight. Jalen Warren in the game as the running back, and he'll take it inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Third and long 5 coming up here for the Steelers on their opening drive.
Yeah, it's really interesting how this game is playing out here now. We have seen the New York Jets defensively struggle a little bit to stop the run. Now they get it to a 3rd down and 5, and now the pressure shifts to that secondary that's missing 3 key people.
The lone receiver to the top. On 3rd and 5, Jets break forward. Wilson escaping and just putting it out of bounds. Out of harm's way. Nothing open downfield. Pressure coming from Will McDonald, the big sack man for the Jets. And a field goal attempt coming for the Steelers.
I don't care how many thousands of snaps you've taken in a National Football League game. You're laid off about a year, it's going to take Russell Wilson a little time to get a feel back there. The protection's really been pretty good so far, and the new center, Ryan McCollum, has done fine.
Chris Boswell, outstanding season. It's been a lot of the Steelers' points, about 40% of them. It's a 46-yarder.
Need the field goal, yeah.
He loves the Steelers.
Michael Keaton, there's a lot of famous people who love the Steelers.
Xavier Gibson, Isaiah Davis back deep to receive the Chris Boswell kickoff. As teams have been doing, kicking away from Gibson towards Davis, the running back. Tackled at the 23-yard line. That's where the Jets offense will take over.
Aaron Rodgers, Butte Community College. Brees Hall, Wichita Northwest High School. Devontae Adams, Fresno State. Alan Lazard, ATT. Gary Wilson, The Ohio State University. Ty Badler, Central Michigan. Tyler Smith, USC. John Simpson, Clemson. Joe Timmon, Wisconsin. Elijah Vera Tucker, USC. Morgan Moses, UVA.
It is game 2 with Todd Downey calling the plays. He replaced Nathaniel Hackett, who's now up in the press box as Downey comes down. Call the plays into Aaron Rodgers. Brees Hall in the back from 22. Rodgers in the air right away. First to Adams. Cannot connect. And complete.
I wonder who's more amped up between the two of them. I mean, you could just tell they literally could not wait to get started. And they were talking about in practice, they hit a little back shoulder timing throw, and both of them sort of strutted off the field and were feeling really good about it. And then, of course, the first one, the easiest throw of all, doesn't work out.
Hands to Hall. Right and left. Hall gets out to the 25-yard line. 3rd and 7 right away. Aaron Rodgers, he turns 41 in 6 weeks. 2%. All the numbers low compared to his career numbers. He did tell us last night that the ankle injured in London against the Vikings still lingers a bit. He's feeling more himself every week after the Achilles injury from week 1 of last year.
It'll be interesting to see which way does the defense shift here. And those two deep safeties, pretty balanced.
Third and 8, Steelers bring 4. Rodgers slides in trouble.
Yeah.
Perfect protection, going to double up over here. That makes sense, right? TJ Watt on the other side. But this is well over 3 seconds that Aaron Rodgers has a chance to make this throw. Maybe a throw right in the middle of the field he just didn't see, but his defense is off and running already.
Veteran Thomas Morstead to kick it away. Calvin Austin back deep to receive. The Steelers have left the gunner at the top 3 for the moment, threatening to bring 9. And pressure on Morstead. Now they change it to 8 men. All coming. Almost got to Morstead. Near the quick. It's a 47-yard catch. And a fair catch just outside of the 35 by Austin. Bringing out for the Jets. Pressure inside. Ogunjobi. Puts it for the sack. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Weekend here in Western PA. Drive number 2 for Russell Wilson, starting at the 36.
We've been diving deeper than that in this stadium and the temperature.
It's many a cold night in this place. Jalen Moore in the back. Play action. Wilson out quick. 2 more. For the blockers. It'll be about 4 or 5 yards. Got more out of it than I thought. Out at the 40, Chris, it's Russell Wilson. It was Justin Fields for the first 6 games of this season.
Yeah, and Justin Fields, obviously with all the changes on this offensive line, he protected this offensive line to some extent. I mean, they had people in and out, and he was a guy that could scramble and make runs and make plays. It wasn't pure drop back kind of passing, and it helped the Steelers offense.
Like Tom Latolis was displeased. He's been beyond solid, and that mobility is an X factor. Warren hits it hard in there. It'll be a couple shy of the first down. The 44-yard line. Leonard Taylor, the rookie out of Miami, with the stop.
All right, and on the inside, we've been talking about Ryan McCollum, the center, who is their 4th possible center for this season, but he honestly has been doing just fine. I've been watching him. We've seen him put some pressure on him with Quinton Williams. Javon Kinlaw has been up there head-to-head with him, and so far, no issue.
Third and a long yard. See what he taps into. On the move, the throw is completely through the hands of Calvin Austin. Had it for a moment, but over there was Jalen Mills, who's playing a lot in that injured Jets secondary. A fill-in. A lot expected of him here tonight.
Get the feeling that the players are nervous tonight?
A little bit.
I mean, really, there was a real anticipation to this thing. And I think Russell sort of settled down. This looked like one of his kind of throws, you know, just get it out there, perfectly done, and unfortunately dropped.
Corliss Waitman has been the punter since week 2 for Pittsburgh. Okay, Xavier Gipson with his feet on the 10-yard line. On the kick and nearly a turnover. The gunner was right there in his face, and Xavier Gipson with the muff, but fortunately it goes out of bounds. And the Jets will take it back around their own 20. Near disaster for Gipson. Jets retain possession.
I'm moderate to severe Crohn's disease.
Time best-selling SUV and call it a day. But you still have unmarked paths to go down, unnamed hills to climb, and unknown territory to navigate. So we gave it an available 400 horsepower engine. It's up to you what you do.
Poll, including number 3 Penn State, in Madison to take on Wisconsin. Big one Saturday, 7 Eastern, the undefeated Nittany Lions and the Badgers on NBC. Halloween, see the pumpkin carving there. Get to the important games of the football season on the college side. Steelers 3, Jets nothing. Drive 2 for the Jets, beginning at the 18-yard line. Reese Hall back. Take the lead from nowhere. Steelers defense all over Ogie. Ogie having a night, but the late flag comes as he threw the ball to the ground. Let's see if it was too much. He's negotiating with Sean Smith.
He's not going to win.
Exactly.
At the end of the play, personal foul, defense number 99.
Grabbing his head, but then when he corkscrewed head and helmet and everything down into the ground, it was laundry everywhere after that. Made such a great play, you know, just Mike Tomlin has to be going nuts.
2-yard loss would have been the 8th-year man out of Charlotte. And their starter up front, Keanu Benton up there inside, Cam Hayward. There's T.J. Watt, such a formidable front for these Steelers. Second in the league in points allowed. Rodgers, flat-footed throw. All out of the backfield. Accelerates for the first down. To midfield goes Breece Hall. The Jets take advantage of the penalty. And on the next snap, gain 17.
The great thing is when you can use your back to help against T.J. Watt and he's still a threat to come out after that, now you've gained a real win. And you can see the knockdown block first of all, and then the catch and run after. Breece Hall, if he gets it going like he did a week ago, this is a different Jets team. It's going to create the balance that is going to take the pressure off of Aaron Rodgers so he doesn't have to try and just carry the Jets.
Rodgers out quick to Devontae Adams. There's their first connection to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 9 against the Pittsburgh defense.
USC, Ohio State. Larry Ogunjobi, Charlotte. Alex Highsmith, Charlotte. Patrick Queen, LSU. Elandon Roberts, Houston.
Dante Jackson, LSU. Deshaun Elliott, Texas.
Mickey Fitzpatrick, Alabama. Beanie Bishop, the Island.
Joey Porter Jr., King of the North.
Happy to get Alex Highsmith back in the lineup. Edge rusher missed the last 3 games with a groin injury. The bookend to the pass rushes of T.J. Watt. Inside give. Deshaun Elliott leading this team in tackles. Lost a career.
There we go. When you're playing against the Steelers, you never know who it's going to be. And here comes Elliott right out of the back end of this thing and into the arms of T.J. Watt as well. They just sort of vice you down. One from one side, one from the other. What looked like an easy conversion becomes tougher. Devontae Adams now. Aaron Rodgers right. Looks like one-on-one. I bet it's not.
Rodgers looked that way. Now scans, fires, short. Lazard stretches, and Allen put him up short. It's where the ball was when his knee came down. It's marked a half yard short of the first down. And on 4th down, the Jets quickly run out Braylon Allen, their big rookie back. And other big personnel, and Ulbrich and company will go for it. This spot, when the knee comes down, the ball being extended, really the calf is the first thing down. I don't know if everybody heard it with the terrible towels going and the fans screaming. The replay assistants upstairs makes it a first down, so the Jets change their personnel back out. Now 1st and 10 at the 40.
It's just so hard when you're on the field to tell exactly when did the knee go down and exactly where was the ball then. It's a good use of replay assist. I kind of like that. Doesn't feel like they're, fixing a few things that need fixing.
Yes, it does. And they're doing it quickly, too. Which they get part of replay assist. In the first 15 or 17 seconds of the play clock. Dumped down the hole. Got a block. All in open space. Inside the 30. To the 27-yard line. A first down pickup of 13 for Breece Hall. It was a factor in the passing game against Buffalo on Monday night.
And you're already seeing the impact of this, Mike, I think. Don't you? I mean, you've got Garrett Wilson on one side. You've got Devontae Adams on the other. You've got Breece Hall coming out of the backfield. You have too many things to cover with just, you have to make a decision now on defense. What are you going to take away? And so far, it's been difficult for an excellent Steelers defense.
Rodgers from 27 and right back out. It's Braylon Allen, the rookie. Got out of a tackle. Fronts for a yard. Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, the linebackers over there. So sometimes there's an acquisition, especially midseason football. We think this will be great. It takes time. It feels like this can have an immediate impact.
Yeah, and Aaron said he knew 95% of the signals already, but Mike Tomlin said he knew 95% of it too, so I don't know how impressive that is.
Remember, Tomlin and the Steelers played the Raiders. Melissa mentioned the hamstring injury for Devontae Adams, so they were watching him during the week and preparing for him last week. To Garrett Wilson. What a tackle. First down in the red zone for the Jets. Puts it inside of the 15-yard line.
So it's a problem, right? You've got the RPO game going here. You're going to have a possible run inside to Braylon Allen. And then you have the option on the outside. I'll bet you Garrett Wilson hasn't had that much space this entire year. He gets balls thrown to him all day long, right? But now, because there are other things that you have to cover with this Jets offense, the space that he has to work in is different already tonight.
Ulbrich walking down to the official in case the timeout was needed. It wasn't because Hall's taken off to the end zone and for the touchdown. I believe, yes, we'll signal the official over there. But Hall snuck it inside the pylon, and the Jets on their second drive go down the field.
Mike, every receiver is that way, okay? So this is an RPO kind of a look here. You don't know. Is he going to hand that off, or is he going to throw it to that 3 wide receiver side? And what we've seen out of Hall is when he gets a chance to put that foot in the ground and turn upfield, it was cooking last week and it's cooking tonight.
Rodgers a perfect 6 of 6 on the drive. This one's third rushing touchdown. Greg Zuerlein, who struggled with the field goals, knocks in the extra point. And the Jets on their second drive find their way to the end zone. Donald Trump in attendance tonight, invited guest of one of the suite holders here at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. Jets on top 7-3. 82-yard drive, and you got to see a little bit of what the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, bunch of weapons can mean for the Jets offense. The best running drives of the season. Good hang time, take a knee, and Pittsburgh will get the ball at their own 30-yard line. So what are you thinking, Chris, if you were calling plays into the helmet of Russell Wilson here to get him going a little bit?
I'm throwing at least one deep ball here. The strength of Russell Wilson has always been his ability to get a lot of height on those deep throws. And when you think about this Pittsburgh Steelers team, what are they? They're tremendous defense. They can run the football. And what they're missing are the big play elements to the receivers. Russell Wilson can do that. Does that sound familiar? That was Seattle's sport.
Yeah.
Exactly what they did.
From the 30, Jets bring pressure. Wilson gets rid of it. Through the hands of Pickens, who was involved with the hand fighting with Sauce Gardner. And George Pickens didn't have his head around when the ball was coming to him.
He didn't have a chance to get his head around, I don't think. Let's see. Let's watch the left hand here of Sauce Gardner. Not enough.
Sauce Gardner, first 2 years, first team All-Pro. Third-year man out of Cincinnati. What an impact he's had on this Jets defense. Rare air to start as a third man to be a first-team All-Pro his first 2 years. On the defensive side of the ball. Toss to Najee Harris to the right. Great open field play. And Jalen Mills, first guy who had a lot of experience in Philadelphia, last 3 years in New England. Jets add him on the practice squad, needed for the injuries. He's been involved early.
Yeah, and we're a little surprised, to be honest. We thought maybe Ashlyn Davis might be the safety out here tonight. But Mills is just sort of that X-factor guy. He will take his shots, and he took one here. He decides to get up the field. A lot of experience, as you talked about, and he's playing well.
So third and 12, Wilson deep drop, running around, that pass is deflected. The pass rush comes, and the Jets get a hand on it. Will McDonald again. Second time he's been involved in the mix, and the Jets defense looked good the last two drives.
Go big tough here. Smash out here and go right to the quarterback. This is probably the toughest stunt when you have a great player like Williams to be able to make plays like that and really just force Russell Wilson out of the pocket and no chance and still no ball down the field.
Gibson waits. Willis Waitman's pick. Gibson fields it clean to 16. Solid lost the ball again. So ball security an issue for Xavier Gibson on these two punt returns. Well, the Jets usually win the back page, and they've been out there a lot. Robert Saleh fired. Jet Olberg takes over as the defensive coordinator, and then the other side of the ball impacted. Nathaniel Hackett stripped of the play calling. They lose to the Bills. Todd Downing says, wish they had a mulligan from that game. Then the Davante Adams signing on Tuesday, and this morning, this is a late Bulldog edition headline at the bottom. Hassan Reddick ends his holdout. So they traded for Reddick in March from Philadelphia, double-digit sack guy, holding out. Woody Johnson, the owner, said, hey, Hassan, come on in. Got the deal done, and he'll be in camp tomorrow.
Bulldog edition. All right.
Old school, when they used to sell papers and actually buy them on the streets, so they'd end up on your stoop in a walk-up in New York. Loss of a couple on the run to Brees Hall. Good defense of the Steelers. Dante Jackson, and here's Melissa.
Mike, we've seen Davante Adams down here coaching Garrett Wilson on the sidelines. Adam told us he wants to help make Wilson great. And Wilson told me he grew up a huge Adams fan. Something Adams is well aware of. Starting in middle school, Adams was the receiver he watched, he tried to emulate. And Wilson said it was always his dream to play at this level and have his idols turn into rivals. Well, how cool is this? That his idol turned into his teammate and mentor.
Great opportunity if he takes it. Looks like he is so far. Steelers show some bodies up front like they're bringing heat. Roger in the middle, incomplete. Adams coming across the field. Here's jostling with Dante Jackson. It'll be third down in the final minute of this first quarter.
One thing you know watching Davante Adams is how physical the guy is. He tried to bang off the defensive back that time and just stumbled coming out. Russell Wilson over there looking at defenses, but I think when you have Russell Wilson and you know what his skill set is and you know what's missing from this offense, I think you just got to cut it loose a little bit. Even if it's just to wake up the crowd, let's throw one about 60.
We're down. TJ Watt, top of the screen. Jets trying to pay as much attention to him as possible tonight. Two wait on him, and that pass incomplete. Coverage down the field by Joey Porter Jr. Step for step with Garrett Wilson. That's a 3 and out for the Jets.
No question who the ace of the secondary is for this defense. Joey Porter, whatever the toughest assignment, whatever the toughest ask, they're going to lay it on Joey Porter. And physical Pittsburgh Steelers, Minka Fitzpatrick over the top. You better not put too much air underneath that ball with Minka out there, or he'll make you pay the price.
38-year-old Thomas Morstead. Calvin Austin waits. Got right inside, almost got a piece of that one. Kick is 47, and a tackle right at the 33 as Austin could not get away. Quantez Stiggers, a nice story about him on the Today Show tomorrow morning. Interesting path to the NFL. Good special teams coverage there as the Steelers will take over with 37 seconds to go. This whole Russell Wilson thing is very fascinating because 4-2 and in first place. Usually not the time to make a quarterback change, but this is a big picture. Mike Tomlin's looking way down the road to figure out what he has on this roster.
And in part because of what the conversation was in his own locker room. He wanted to make sure that he controlled that narrative, and the only way to truly do that was to figure out if Russell Wilson was the answer for this team.
Right First down, Najee Harris tackled by C.J. Mosley. Jets are happy to have him back. Missed a few weeks with a toe injury, limited last week against the Bills.
Yeah, and you can see a little pep in the step of this Jets defense as well. They're missing some key guys on the backside here. And all of a sudden you look over and your offense has a beautiful drive and they sprint down the field. And all of a sudden you go, all right, we have hope.
And in this first quarter, here in Pittsburgh, lone touchdown, Breece Hall, 13-yard run. Oswell had the field goal for the Steelers. Jets 7, Steelers 3. Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Provided by Nationwide. What a sight this is. Steelers honoring the 50th anniversary of Super Bowl IX, the one that started the run. Alumni weekend here at Acrisure Stadium. Dinner last night. Look at those names. Look at those faces. A lot of us grew up watching these guys set the standard that Mike Tomlin talks about a half century later. The Alumni weekend, many teams around the league have it. Almost no one has it like the Steelers do.
You know, I mean, a lot of guys were going up and going, oh, that's my ring. Joe Green went up there with that one and that one. All black reds.
Like Tomlin told us, we walk on paved roads because of the standards and the expectations in Pittsburgh set by those guys back here tonight. Second and 8, Russ throws it. I believe that was a little RPO action, and it was an NO. And the fans beat O. They
Najee Harris thought he was getting the ball and may have sort of knocked it off pace there for Russell Wilson, who just uncorked it. And so far, Russ needs a play. I mean, let's face it, he needs a play that you go, oh yeah, there's Russell Wilson out there.
Pressure comes, Jalen Warren, he'll pick it up, hooks in, throws not much. Incomplete for Austin, as he was on the move. And the fans tell you how they feel about that drive. The Steelers, their third straight, 3 and out.
Tell you what, Mike, and this is one of those that maybe Justin Fields has a different course. He might take that ball on the run right here with that man coverage and still be running.
Tonight, folks. 13-yard line. This goes down fair catch there. Melissa Stark told us from the sideline that he changed his gloves after the first few punts. So anything, just hold on.
Hold on. That's what it's all about when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just hold on.
Jets taking over at their own 13. So what does this game mean for the Jets? They lost to Buffalo on Monday night. If Buffalo winning today over Tennessee, if the Jets lose tonight, they're 3 back, and they've already lost a head-to-head. So essentially they're 3.5 back. We haven't gotten to Halloween. So this is an important game for the Jets just to try to stay within reach of the top of the AFC.
I just think it's one of those moments in time that you sign Devontae and you go to Pittsburgh and you beat the 4-2 Steelers. Doesn't matter what anybody writes. You believe it.
From Team Brees Hall to the right. Gain about 4 yards when flag comes down.
Full team.
I like Sean Smith, good official, did the AFC Championship game last year, but we've enjoyed not seeing much of him.
Yes.
That's just the first penalty on the Jets, only one on the Steelers. Elijah Vera Tucker, the guard, called there.
So when you play Brees Hall, you know what they're going to do. It's outside zone. They're going to try to get you running sideways, and then there's going to be a gap, and he's going to put that foot in the ground and shoot right up the field, right? Tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has been flying to the ball. There has not been a gap. They've had him outside. There just hasn't been that opportunity to cut it up for the big play that he's known for.
Jimmy Porter Jr. was waving to the fans to wave their terrible towels and make noise. First and 16 for the end zone. Rodgers adds a Hall to the 12-yard line. Pick up with about 5. All tied for second coming into this week on receptions for the Jets. Over there on the Steelers sideline, Russell Wilson, remember his injury was his calf. I don't know if they're just kind of keeping it warm. They gave him a heat pack over there. Or if it's something that may bother him a little bit. So we'll keep a close eye on that and listen down the sideline.
Maybe that had something to do with why he did not.
Second and 11. Look out. Highsmith almost got there and was broken up by Cameron Hayward. Incomplete. But back in the lineup, Alex Highsmith off the edge with pressure. Cameron Hayward knocked it down. Third down.
Yeah, you're going to see the magic is back. Here's Hayward, who's going to get his hands up and knock this thing down. But one of the reasons he had the chance to do that is the return of Alex Highsmith off the edge. Now you've got T.J. Watt on one side, and yes, you've got Cameron Hayward, but you also have Alex Highsmith. So you have a very balanced defense that they haven't had the last few days.
Tyron Smith has struggled against Buffalo on Monday night. Missed him. Highsmith right past him. Rodgers out quick. Devontae Adams, can he get there? Very close, but marking yards short of the first down at the 22-yard line. Fourth down, leading by 4. The Jets will keep the punt unit right by the sideline and now bring them up.
Didn't work, right? But I want to watch what Devontae Adams does here. This little route, it's an understanding, right? Aaron Rodgers knows exactly what he's going to get out of Devontae Adams. We saw a little pass earlier to make it a 2nd and 2. Those little plays, don't underestimate how important they are to this offense.
Smith gets rid of it. Fair catch signal. Calvin Austin has got it at the 31-yard line. 3 and outs in a row. See if the Pittsburgh offense can get going. Welcome to the History of Sports right here at this Western Pennsylvania Sports Museum. Saturdays and Sundays, special days in the fall in football country.
Wow. Everyone's outside.
Football is brought to you by Hyundai. There's joy in every journey. By Corona Extra for the fans who never lose. By New Balance. And stand up to all hate. Call a timeout against hate. Pittsburgh, great place to walk. That confluence there, Allegheny on one side, Monongahela on the other side. They meet there and form the Ohio River. Nice completion early for Russell Wilson. The last 7, not so much. Last 9, Pittsburgh plays a total of 9 yards. From the 31, Harris. Only for a yard, trying to establish the run. Quentin Williams, Jalen Mills. There for New York.
I want to make something really clear. Mike Tomlin basically let us know this is not a permanent anything.
Right.
This is a Russell Wilson experiment. I said, well, how long do you need? He said, I don't know. And he said, what are you trying to accomplish? And I'm not sure he really knew that either. He just wanted to know which quarterback gave him a chance to win a Super Bowl, period. And so we don't even know exactly what he's trying to accomplish here.
Toss right, Harris. Goes to the outside. Jets rally to the ball. 3rd and long coming up. Nobody has a flag down over there amongst the bodies. Didn't catch it. See what it is.
Indeed.
Pushing the Steelers back even more. Well,
During the run, holding. Offense number 88. 10-yard penalty for the slot and the foul. Complete, 2nd down.
Pat Fryer moved there. Look, you've watched 17 years of Steeler games. You've heard from announcers. Mike Tomlin, great production meeting. Well, it is because he's so direct and he's so clear. And Chris, he said, both are capable of being our number 1 quarterback. It's going to be determined on the grass. When? I don't know. When will we get there? We'll know it once we get there. So he's trying to figure out, is the Russell Wilson, who they liked in OTAs, then got hurt, is he the guy who we saw, who we think can lead this team to be a good offense?
But the final point was, said, if I go back to Justin, it's over. We're staying.
From 24, play action, protected. There's your
Oh, going deep. It's caught. Yes.
That's the old moon ball. Here we go. He's going to drop back, throw it as high and far as he can. And he has one of the better contested catch guys in the National Football League in Pickens down the field. And because of the trajectory of that ball, it drops straight down, gives him a chance to hold off the defender with one hand, catch it with the other, and now they're rolling.
After the gain of 44, Jalen Warren with a good run for about 4 yards. You talked about it all week. The Russell Wilson deep ball is a different kind of deep ball.
I just go back, how many Seattle games, Super Bowls, and playoffs did we call over the years? And the moon ball was always a part of the conversation. Doesn't have to be open. Let him throw it because the ball is coming down straight out of the sky. Your receiver is looking at it, the defender's not. Give him a chance.
Number 29 will play action on the blue back to Darnell Washington. Stepping Washington. Goes right at Sauce Gardner. Inside the 15 to the 12-yard line.
I may come back to this one over and over. This was the one that was wide open to start the game. A little shot on the outside against Will McDonald, but there has been nobody on the outside to cover that up. And Sauce Gardner saw 6'7" coming at him right here.
Second-year tight end from Georgia takes the Steelers down to the 11. Najee Harris. That's the way you ran it all week last week. 5 yards to the 6. Longtime Steeler observers who watched all of his 4 years here said that's the hardest he's run in the last 2, maybe all 4 years he's been here.
Totally agree. And Cordero Patterson may have inspired all of them with the way he ran against the Colts about 3 weeks ago.
Patterson's still out, but a factor when he comes back. And Alex Harris bouncing the outside. Great play for the Jets. His body, I guess, didn't touch down. So the Jets continue on. Quincy Williams there. There was no whistle.
because no one was really sure if Harris's knee hit the ground right there. Probably did, but once he got back up, can't blame the defenders for trying to get him on the ground.
There was no whistle. So, time.
That's a good reason to.
3rd and 10. You get a first down at the 1. Motion. Scanning. Keeping the play alive. And fires on the run. Out of the back of the end zone. Bodies over there. Washington. Pickens. Jets over there in coverage. Everybody gets up and okay. It'll be 4th down and a field goal attempt coming.
Say a really nice job in that secondary. We've been talking about they're depleted. They've got a lot of injuries, all that sort of stuff. They had them locked down on that play.
So Boswell will try this time from 29 yards. It was Waitman, the holder.
Made the field goal. Yes. Our Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win.
Pinto Stars has a visionary doctor who sees the world through his patient's eyes. Don't miss Brilliant Minds tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. One of the joys of coming here is just walking the hotels over to the stadiums, beautiful walks across these gorgeous bridges. We're the Clemente Bridge into the heart of downtown.
I tell you, one of the great parts of coming to this town, everybody's a football fan.
Everybody's a football fan. Having dinner last night, it was like we were doing a radio show. Just everybody come talking ball. Xavier Gibson takes it back for the Jets, tries to get that ball on the left. And he steps out of the 30 games in the air. The special team before the Steelers. They're on the stop. Jeff Ulbrich takes over as the head coach. Was really disappointed. Robert Saleh, who hired him, let go, but then his opportunity. And here's his path after playing for the 49ers as a linebacker, special teams assistant with Seattle, a couple years in college, then with Dan Quinn and company in Atlanta, and then hired here with the Jets as the defensive coordinator. Now takes over as the interim head coach this game too.
Yeah, he and Robert Saleh stay in touch still every day and have that conversation, but really for him, Pete Carroll was the guy that gave him a chance and that he still thinks the world of.
28-yard line, Aaron Rodgers to work, smacked Devontae Adams, gave him a dozen on first down to the 40-yard line. He's been on on the field for every snap, Devontae, so far. You mentioned Pete Carroll. Can't go by without telling that story, right? So Ulbrich retires. He's looking for a job, so he's now out at the scouting combine. Ends up meeting Pete Carroll. John Schneider just hired as the GM. They start a conversation. Ulbrich doesn't think much is going to come of it. Then he gets hired as the head coach.
Yeah, he said he got an email and it had a hotel reservation for 60 days. They said, I guess I got the job.
Hired by the head coach to be an assistant coach, an assistant special teams coach. And then the career starts from there. Inside run for 2 yards by Braylon Allen. You said it, Chris. We shouldn't go past that. It's kind of quality person Robert Saleh is. Robert Saleh has reached out every day and stayed in touch with Jeff Ulbrich as he takes over as a head coach for the first time. That's saying a lot about an individual's character.
And then he had to change offensive coordinators, and Todd Downing comes in, and Nathaniel Hackett just as gracious on the other end. Everybody talking about how wonderful he's been with that transition.
7 and 6 for Rodgers. Steelers get the pressure. Rodgers knows where to go. Brees Hall on the run. Hall into the secondary. Past the tackler at the 20. Brees Hall inside the 10. Travis Fitzpatrick inside the 5. Oh, that play didn't look like it was going to be much, but it ends up a huge gain of 56 yards.
That was a sweet pass by Aaron Rodgers. He had somebody out just to his right. Watch the little no-look element of this one. He's going to come out and take a look and just, instead of working it to the outside to Jeremy Ruckert, flips it back to the inside. And what we have seen tonight is that anytime Brees Hall gets the ball in open space, people can't get him on the ground. So the biggest impact so far for the Jets has been on Brees Hall, not as much on Garrett Wilson.
Longest play of the year for the Jets sets up 1st and goal. Rodgers takes time out. Play clock running, one of those long plays, everybody late down the field. And not enough time at the line.
All right, let's take a look, and you're going to see Aaron Rodgers. Here's Hall coming out of the backfield, staring off to the far right and then whipping it back across his body. But look how many people miss in that combination. There are the eyes, and not going to tip it off until the last second. But these guys in space, they have 3 of the best players in the league in space now. And Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, and Devontae Adams. It's a lot to cover, Mike.
League is smiling forward. Florida becomes a gain of 57 yards. Don't say the Steelers defense can do. Jets have it at the 3. 1st and goal. Empty it out. No backs. Charles trying to bring it in. The second-year man out of Indiana, Pennsylvania. Started his college career at Penn State.
I think it's a little bit of a statement now. They're doing a good enough job on T.J. Watt on the outside. Oh, is that knee down?
Wait a minute.
That's close.
Wow, we're going to have to bring in Terry McLaughlin. We're going to see the back end of the play as well, because he's got to maintain control at the end too, Terry.
Yeah, it does look like the knee come in, but as we just mentioned, it does look like he lost control of the ball when he hit the ball.
Thanks, Terry. Great pick up there. 2nd and goal. Inside run for Hall. Oh, and a twist and a turn. He's just shy of the goal line, it appears. It'll be 3rd down, but Hall really made that, instead of a no gain, a chance to score. Almost broke the play.
I think the conversation's going on upstairs right now. Do I challenge that or not? Spin.
Body down. He's leaning. It's really close. Is there something clear? Upstairs to challenge or not. He is going to challenge. He dropped the flag before he could throw it. So Rodgers instead runs the play. It's a touchdown to Conklin. Tyler Conklin in the end zone on the touchdown pass from Rodgers. Jeff Ulbrich dropped the flag as he was trying to throw it.
It's a touchdown. The challenge flag came out after the snap.
goodness. The best play of his coaching career so far is dropping the challenge flag.
There is Tyler Conklin, the tight end. His first touchdown of the year. Here's the flag throw by Oberg.
That saved the Jets. That may turn the season. Still the New York Jets. Who knows?
Oh, the extra point is blocked. Yes.
The Steelers team is the best at blocking. There is a penalty flag down.
There's a flag on the
It
field.
could be returned for 2. Steelers blocked a punt the last couple of weeks. A field goal block before that against Dallas. Let's see, was there leverage? How did they create the space to jump in front of the kicker?
It came off the offense's right side. There was a leap in between. Was there leverage used to get there?
Micah Fitzpatrick was the one who got through. A great neck. Danny Smith, special teams coach, is going nuts. I mean nuts with the official and the call that was made. Here's the look.
Over here.
Micah Fitzpatrick jumps through that opening there.
Leverage on the defense, number 39. The offense has elected to go for a 2-point try at the 1-yard line.
All right, Terry,
An
I'm
untimed out.
bring you in to talk about the leverage of that right hand of Fitzpatrick.
Sure, the rule is, Mike, he cannot use his hands on an opponent to help himself to push off and get through the gap. Now, he can touch him, but he can't push off. And as we look at it, boy, I tell you what, it looks more like a touch than a push
No
off.
way. I'm with you, Terry. And he probably hit the helmet of T.J. Watt more than he did.
And Danny Smith, whose special teams have blocked 8 kicks in the last 3 years, most in the league, is making that exact point. They work very hard at it. Wow. So instead of the blocked extra point in 13-6, the Jets take the advantage to move it up 1, and they'll go for 2 from the 1. With Garrett Wilson, and the Jets take a 9-point lead. Huge ball there. So instead of a 7-point game, it is 9. The Rodgers touchdown after the challenge flag that didn't make it to the field. Conklin got the 6, Wilson the 2, and the Jets lead by 9. with the Steelers and the Jets. A challenge flag that didn't make it. The Jets get a touchdown, and then on the extra point, a little controversy on how it was blocked. So it ends up the Jets get 8 out of it and lead 15-6. As Aaron Rodgers throws the touchdown pass, number 10 on the season for Rodgers. And the big read on the dump down, Breece Hall doing the rest of the work on that long play. This being touchback, we're going to touch base with Terry McAulay. Terry, a 3-time Super Bowl referee, come back in here and just give us, we've seen a lot of guys trying to block kicks this way over the last few weeks.
Sure, we have. And we've talked with the league about it, and they want to see a clear push-off. They want to see some force where he's using those hands to assist him to get through. And he does touch his teammates, and that would apply as well to the teammate as well. But again, it's just a touch on both players glancing. This shouldn't have been a foul.
You can see the left hand of Minkah Fitzpatrick sort of flipping the jersey, but nothing pole vaulting, pushing in any way.
So the Jets have a 9-point lead. Russell Wilson to work. Right away, he can bring the quick to Freiermuth. Rebound Wilson. Freiermuth takes it off and still going to the 40-yard line. Gain of 30. You have a dump off to your guy? Russell Wilson says, Aaron, I got one too.
Welcome back, Russell Wilson. This is the kind of play we're used to seeing. Watch him stop short. Flip it sidearm like a second baseman would underneath, and a perfect throw. Greatly needed right there for Russell Wilson. Spectacular play.
Freiermuth's longest gain of the season.
Indeed.
Shoved it toward Michael Pruitt, but again, the Jets pressured. Quinnen Williams came in there with 2 flags down. One on the side as well. The Steelers side.
The offense. And that was one man downfield, number 62. That penalty is declined. Holding. Offense number 65. That penalty is accepted. 10-yard penalty. He played first down.
Yeah, so really it was 65 that was downfield because it was a screen pass that was mistimed. Inside McCollum here is going to have his hands full with Quinnen Williams with this little inside move. And it was a screen. He probably could have gotten away without doing that, but it forced Russell to pull the ball down, move, and then you got the illegal man downfield.
That's one to midfield. Jalen Warren in the back. Looks in, takes the shot to the middle for Pickens. Contested ball. Incomplete to Jalen Mills. They're in cover. Jets starting guard heading to the locker room. Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah, that was only a half move there.
The move ball.
That would need to be about 10 yards farther out there. Mills was there. Great job getting his head turned back around, so no chance of an interference despite a lot of the contact. But you can see Pickens is pretty good with those contested catches. Keep trying.
Play clock running down. Wilson dropping back to get hit. And he's brought down for the sack. It is Will McDonald, who now has 8 on the season. What a year he's having.
You really end up with just a 2-man route here. The back coming out of the backfield late, but I'll tell you, this Will McDonald has become quite the story, hasn't he? 8 sacks on the year now, a guy that was just simply too light a year ago and made himself different.
He catch Pickens 3rd and 24. Don't get all the yards they lost back. The late throwdown has the Steeler fans looking for a flag. It doesn't come. Ball's at the 42-yard line. They need to get to the 30 for a first down. Let's see what happens here with 3:38 to go. They're going to punt it away.
Yeah, they had a mistake on the back end when Pickens went out in motion. You could see the space. There's nobody there. So that opportunity really just a mistake on the part of the Jets. But team out.
running down to down it for Pittsburgh. 3-10 to go. Jets lead by 9. They have the ball. Try to drop it nose down to get the spin like that. Down and inside the 10.
We follow pizza drivers and make sure the customers get a Pepsi.
Pizza guy. Pepsi guy.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
Not going anywhere, pal. To enhance your pizza's flavor.
That's a perfect combo.
Yeah, he's still following me. Probably stupid marketing stunt.
Thursday night football on Prime. It's on.
Ready to have some fun?
It's the Vikings versus the Rams. It's Thursday Night Football is on. Stream Thursday Night Football only on Prime.
How could anyone possibly know that every single one of these pistachios is guaranteed to be wonderful? By reading right here. Wonderful pistachios are the pistachios that are wonderful with the word wonderful on them.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Alrighty. Who's ready for my famous charred duck?
Like, you know, to check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate.
Toasters, baby.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate.
Oops, sorry, forgot to mute the TV.
Two-hit wonder. Shape of Earth thing was a really good song. So now try to get that out of your head the rest of the week. They are back, and we have seen Davante Adams essentially for the entire half for the Jets. Breece Hall running left, chased down by Peyton Wilson. Good work. He gained the 3 there. Melissa.
Mike, we told you earlier that Davante Adams was living with Aaron Rodgers this week, and Aaron told us he so enjoyed their high-level conversations, and he kept telling us how smart Davante is. Well, Davante told us the team did get him an apartment, so we said, how long will you stay at Aaron's? He said, well, it's a pretty good setup, and I don't want to leave until I know I'm getting the ball.
That's exactly right. As a receiver, like, you want me to stay? I'll stay. Whatever you want. But let's get through this game and see how many balls I get in this one, and we'll decide from there.
They're driving into work together. Got all the hand signals dialed in for years. 2nd and 7. Rodgers. Shot to the sideline. Lazard, the back shoulder adjustment. And the catch. Right at the 40-yard line. Gain of 19.
And you can expect that going forward. We have seen Alan Lazard, who's been the other guy for most of his career, but he has made a lot of big contested catches over the years, and he's going to get James Pierre on his side. Dante Jackson, Deshaun Elliott, some of those other guys they prefer to stay away from.
Lazard brings it in right at the 30-yard line as we get to the 2-minute warning here in Pittsburgh. Jets leading 15-6.
temperature check on the Chiefs and the Niners after their Super Bowl rematch. Plus, one of the NFL's last unbeaten went down today. Mike?
You got it, Maria. We are down to one team left unbeaten in the NFL. Check out everything that happened today coming up. The halftime here momentarily. Jets get the ball to start the second half, leading 15-6. So important stretch for the Steelers defense here.
Well, and the Jets, at the very least, want to run out this clock. The one thing we have not seen tonight is T.J. Watt have a huge impact because they're paying so much attention to him on this edge.
4 hands on him. You know, these passing situations are running with Brees Hall. From behind, gain of 6 yards, minutes 2 to go. See if the Jets come back and huddle. Just keep everybody up at the line. Todd Downing calls the play in.
Yeah, it's the cat and mouse game now, right? This is the drive. This is the series here. If they convert the first down, then they go into a different kind of hurry-up mode. The Steelers, on the other hand, would love to get a shot at the ball, but they don't want to call timeouts and help the Jets' offense. So whatever happens here decides the strategy.
Second and a long 4. And spreading out. Smith keep right there.
It's picked off. Yeah.
Steelers what they needed most, a chance here at the end of this first half to flip this momentum. What a play.
Finished his college career about an hour down the road in Morgantown, undrafted free agent who has earned his way with his play. Steelers, full bucket of timeouts with a 46. Wilson, out quick and blocked with catch and run by Van Jefferson. With his dad, Sean Jefferson, watching on the other side. Jets receivers coach. First down to the 43.
And this might help Russell Wilson. Just get him going. Just get him going. Just get him into the flow of the game.
The 8 seconds left. Jalen Warren, 40 Steeler timeout. Yes, Tomlin stops it with 43 seconds left as the pushing and shoving continued at the end of the play.
The first time I was called by Mike Tomlin.
We're trying to make decisions immediately on guys like, okay, yes or no. Is he ready? Is he not? We have to think back. The last time Russell Wilson played a game was Christmas Eve 2023. It's a long time ago. We've already got holiday shopping stuff out there now. Yeah. We'll go back to last Christmas. So is there any place for patience with Russell Wilson in this role?
I would say ask all those people wearing the Steelers jerseys out there in the audience. Yes, for right now. But if you go 4-3, how patient are you to get to 4-4 potentially with benching the quarterback that kind of got you there?
7-5 wasn't taking a shot, right shot, working on Sauce Gardner.
Oh, it's a pass interference. Yeah.
Defense, number 1. The ball be placed at spot the foul, automatic first down.
So far, Sauce Gardner is still on the ground.
He too, stretching out his leg.
And Mike, this is a different offense when they're taking those shots down the field. They've looked good doing it.
Funky step at the end with Sauce right there at the right ankle.
So in 2 of the last 3 games, Sauce Gardner hasn't even had a ball thrown at him, to give you some idea of the respect he gets around the league.
So the ball is placed down at the 11-yard line. The Jets will be charged with timeout because of the injury that stopped the game there. And Gardner and Adams, the concern, already the Jets down 3 defensive backs coming into this one. Jared Bernard Converse comes out there for the Jets.
And he doesn't have a snap all year.
There's one game that he's played that was special teams. The Jets beat Tennessee in week 2.
Now on his own. Now Russell knows exactly what he's dealing with because of the lack of quarterbacks.
From the 11, Wilson trying to escape. He does, throws it incomplete to the feet of Jalen Warren. Second down, 32 seconds, 2 timeouts.
All right, Mike, what did Justin Fields do best?
Run.
He ran the football in the red zone.
Right.
5 touchdowns out of him. And we wondered whether or not we would see Justin Fields in the red zone. And really, this is where we've seen Russell Wilson struggle so far.
A lot of talk from the insiders around the league that maybe you'd see packages with both in this game. No hint of such thus far. It's spring floor, Wilson ends on top.
It's a touchdown, yeah.
Russell Wilson got a chance to run the no huddle. He got a chance to throw the deep ball. He got a chance to show the touch over the top for the touchdown. What a game this is.
So the interception by Rodgers. This game flips just like that. It looked like they were going down the field. Maybe the Jets were going to take a big lead. The turnover, a couple of Jets injuries in the beaten up secondary, and a touchdown. Tight game.
Mike, I want you to watch the trajectory of this throw. We were watching them practices the other day. Little lob pass in the corner. The greatest weakness that I saw out of Justin Fields was all those line drive throws, right? Not the touch, not the moon ball, not the ones up over the top. And because of that, you saw
he made it
plays
into
that
the
should have been hit
zone.
in the passing game for the Pittsburgh Steelers that simply were not. They just weren't made. Occasionally, Justin Fields didn't even throw them. So big difference. The trajectory is way better with Russell Wilson. And just the fact that Russell can see it and decide and pull the trigger.
He caught 417 balls in the league. What does that mean to a receiver to have a ball coming down at him? How much better a chance do you have to make a catch on that one?
So I just want you to think about it. If it's at a low angle, the defensive back can reach up and knock it away without breaking stride. If it comes down from a vertical angle, you've got to be all over the receiver to have any chance to knock that thing away.
It will be returned. Isaiah Davis. Hard hit and spun down. Peyton Wilson over there, along with Jonathan. But when the Jets scored the touchdown, remember we had the whole issue with the flag. Let's piece it together. Aaron Rodgers thought Breece Hall scored, so he's telling the sideline, throw the flag. Challenge. So now the word, they're upstairs, they checks again. Throw it, throw it. So Jeff Wilbur, I'm going to throw it first. And I drop the flag. Then the play is run. They get the touchdown. And Rodgers says, Coach, Rick, take your flag.
Very discreet. Nobody saw it, right? Nobody saw it.
I'll flip it back your way.
I love the Jets.
One timeout, 21 seconds. Once again, Wilson gets hit right away by Beanie Bishop, who's had 2 back-to-back snaps to save. And it'll send us to the half.
How about that? Beanie Baby, undrafted, making another play.
Which brings us to halftime. Pick the stop of Wilson. 15-13 at the break. A 2-point New York Jets lead. And again, the Jets get the ball to start the second half. It looked like it was going to be a much bigger lead. The Jets have the potential to go down the field. Jets will get it to start the second half. Melissa Stark is doing a great 40-yard dash to get down to Mike Tomlin, and she just got there. Go ahead, Melissa.
Mike, how would you evaluate Russell Wilson's performance?
You know, I like some of the things he's done. We hit some big plays. We got to be more efficient on third down to make the drive engineering a little bit more fluid. We can't settle for field goals. We're settling for field goals. They're scoring touchdowns, and that's kind of the difference as we sit here.
Mike Tex.
There's a 4.3240 run by Melissa Stark. Take our sideline reporter over anybody. Going to halftime now. To the studio, Maria Taylor.
All right, thanks, Mike. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes' best day as a passer against the Niners, but that didn't stop him from doing that, trucking through defenders for a win. And Jared Goff was awesome yet again as the Lions made another statement in Minnesota, and it was a happy homecoming for Saquon Barkley. He got to run all over his former team and Philly's big win, all that and more. We go to halftime next.
Don't want to miss a game? Just tell Siri. Show me the football schedule.
Halloween night can be one of the busiest of the year.
You were bitten by a bat?
He's ran gas in there. One spark and this guy gets incinerated.
She was dead when we pulled her from the river.
We need way more. Chicago Wednesday. You on NBC and Peacock.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
We hit a ceiling or resistance, which led us to an increase overall for the year. But with that,
Those are crinkly.
Opening a bag of chips without making any noise is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Is easy.
WSAV is on your side in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
A neighborhood in Effingham County spent 12 days without water.
We kind of feel like we're at the bottom of the barrel, and
every time somebody talks to the landlord, it doesn't work out.
So they collectively turned to WSAV for help, and Sarah Smith took their complaints to management. The same day the story ran, the water was restored. That's the power of WSAV. That's on your side. WSAV presents Veterans Voices, honoring those that have served. Author, Air Force veteran, and 4th-generation military member Therese Garnier inspires survivors to find their voices and heal through storytelling.
When you can use your voice and take your power back, that's what it's all about, taking your power back. And I feel so powerful as a result of using my voice to help others.
Veterans Voices is sponsored by Zero's Premium Vodka Beverage.
Get a new Nissan for $229 a month.
At Granger Nissan's 2 locations.
Welcome to the Toyota halftime. Let's go places.
Watch me. Get right side. Try to get the edge.
Oh, baby! That's the man they call Sonic! Walker takes it to the house from 20 yards out. Walker reaching up, making a diving reception.
Fires over the middle.
Super Cooper!
Marquez, he punches. Touchdown. He lets it go. And it is caught. Touchdown. There was one.
Go to A.J. Brown.
Toward the pylon. Caught. Jamar Chase. Touchdown.
Hunt gets it powering into the right side. Gets it and damn it! Touchdown! Kansas City!
So the Chiefs get the win in the Super Bowl rematch, and we're about 8 months removed. Let's do an evaluation on where these two teams are during the regular season.
The Chiefs are like this team from another planet. They defy all odds of when you talk about football. And I think both these teams aren't exactly where we expected leaving that Super Bowl 8 months ago, but one's undefeated and the other one's struggling. And every time the Chiefs do something, Mahomes has more interceptions than touchdowns, but somehow they're still winning football games.
Yeah, I think when you compare them, the Chiefs are handling their injuries better than the Niners.
are handling theirs. Remember, Pacheco was out, Rashee Rice is out, but the Chiefs somehow find a way. Today, Mahomes makes 2 big runs in critical parts of the game. They go down in the red zone, they score 4 touchdowns out of 5 trips. That's the difference in the game.
And now it seems like the Niners have even more injuries. And I look to see, does Christian McCaffrey come back and save this team, or is it continue to just struggle and not get wins?
The other thing that's different, though, is Kansas City's defense is among the league's best. San Francisco has been. They're not playing with that same edge where they disrupt the opponent's offense.
Well, Devin, you alluded to it in the injuries. Brandon Ayuk, we watched him get carted off. Kyle Shanahan said they're worried that it's a torn ACL, but that has not been confirmed yet. Meanwhile, next up for the 49ers, the Cowboys, 2 teams that have to get right, and they're going to have to do it on Sunday night. I mean, who's going to get the best in that match?
Well, to me, it's the quest to regain physicality on your football team. The Cowboys can't really run the ball. They're not really stopping the run. San Francisco plays their best when they run it, play action. They stop the run on the other side and make the other team one-dimensional.
What's going on in this world where this is not like this marquee matchup with teams that are dominating their divisions? So I wonder if the Cowboys can now get back right against a rival for years.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you would circle in the beginning of the season, and then it's a team that's at 500 and a team that has a losing record. All right, coming up, Jared Goff is on an absolute heater in the stacked NFC North. But first, sign up now at Toyota.com/NFL for a chance to win prizes if there's a field goal of over 40 yards in the second half.
Guys, we know that Toyota rolls deep for football, but do you know just how deep? Exhibit 1, the logo. It's actually made of 3 footballs. Exhibit 2, Toyotas are built for great QB protection. I know that guy. Exhibit 3, Toyota is in our names.
What about your name?
My middle name is Toyota.
Thought it was Nelson.
I changed it.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Tomorrow, Jenna Fisher opens a Toyota about battling breast cancer.
You're gonna get your life back.
And her powerful new message, tomorrow only on Today.
Jared Goff been on a complete heater the last 3 games, hasn't thrown an interception, just the 4th quarterback with a passer rating over 140. Chris, what is he doing well?
Well, have you ever seen a bigger career transformation than we've seen from Jared Goff with the Rams to Detroit? He's a driving force for this offense. The Rams basically gave him away. Now he's kicking butt all over the NFL. Blitz him, and oh man, bad things are going to happen. He's so aggressive throwing the ball down the field. You see here, Brian Flores loves to bring out the all-out pressure, never panics, reads the field, on the money throw, in the face of pressure to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Here again, people around him in the pocket trying to hit the ball. Never loses focus. Eyes down the field, an aggressive decision maker. Man, this Lions offense is always in attack mode, and it's led by Jared Goff. Maria, back to you.
All right, appreciate it, Chris. Well, if you're a Jets fan, like James Kaminsky, you're going to be talking about the flag fumble for a long time, right?
Hopefully the new greatest fumble in Jets history. No more butt fumble. Jets, you did it.
You did it, Jets. Let's see what you got for the second half.
Magic is back.
This has been the Toyota halftime. Let's go places.
Alec, what's a lovely surprise?
Rose.
Do you two know each other?
We've worked together, yes.
Although in this case, it appears we'll be on opposite sides. My clients don't pay me to lose.
Irrational. New Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
We're dealing with a serial killer. He's a very dangerous man.
His mission is to kill doctors and give women reproductive choices.
Law and Order. New Thursday on NBC and Peacock.
When you imagine your future, how high do you aspire? If you were surrounded by innovators, mentors, how much could you achieve? At Georgia Southern University, you'll spread your wings, set a course to places you've only dreamed of, take flight and climb, beyond expectations, beyond limitations, and from there, anywhere. Soar higher, soar further, soar beyond.
We've never spoken, but you've told us many things. You told us you love stargazing, almost as much as you hate parallel parking. Remember how you forget to charge your phone? all good. That heavy right foot of yours, we got you. The Lexus ES didn't begin in a studio, it began with you.
What does it mean to be on your side?
It means digging deeper.
In the aftermath of the flood of the century, the community was left to pick up the pieces. Only WSAV and Sarah Smith investigated the timeline and response.
We reviewed hundreds of emails and documents from the city of Pembroke, Richmond Hill, and Bryan County, shedding light on communication that some say needs to be fixed.
Your news should give you more, and WSAV delivers. That's on your side.
Get a new kicks for $20,184.
At Granger Nissan's 2 locations.
Being an NFL player demands knowledge, preparation, and skill. Protecting them demands the most cutting-edge helmet technology. The NFL drives innovation through testing, data, and collaboration with helmet manufacturers, leading this season to the 5 safest helmets ever tested, with more position-specific models tailored to player roles, and 3D scanning for custom fits to enhance protection and performance. Before any helmet goes on, safety goes in.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of all rights. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Tonight's first half replay is presented by Progressive.
Ideal Sunday night at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Stars are out on Sunday Night Football. Ball's taken off to the end zone. Rodgers runs the play, and it's a touchdown. Perfect for the Kansas.
Does your coverage need a replay? See if you can save with Progressive.
Jets get the ball starting the third quarter here in Pittsburgh. Leading by 2. Time now for tonight's Buzz, powered by AWS. The quarterback numbers, the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Rodgers, 2.3 seconds time to throw quickest this season. Sticks out on that one. As for Russell Wilson throwing the touchdown pass, that's 20 straight games with a TD pass, and that's the longest active streak in the league. And Breece Hall, powered in part by that 57-yard gain, has 93 receiving yards. No running backs had more in a game in the first third of this NFL season. Well, anytime any team honors past champs on an anniversary, it's great. When the Steelers do it, it's legendary. 50th anniversary of the first one for Pittsburgh, Super Bowl IX. Mel Blount. Crowd goes even more crazy when Swatty's introduced. Then Swat. And then Mean Joe Green. Foundational figures. This franchise, the National Football League, 50th anniversary of their Super Bowl IX title. And for so many folks, and when you go around the country, Chris, like you say, Steelers never play a road game. The reason they have support all around, those guys. It is. Kickoff will be a touchback. Jets get it at the 30, and here's their head coach with Melissa a moment ago.
Jeff, what did you see from your offense, now including Devontae Adams in the first half?
Yeah, they're starting to click, starting to get him integrated into the offense. So I'm excited about what that looks like. 2 for 2 in the red zone, very efficient. We just got to get a run game going.
We saw your all-pro corner Sauce Gardner get injured just before halftime. What can you tell us?
He's going to come back out. He's going to give it a try. It's too important to him. All right, thank you.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Jeff Holbrook also calling the defensive signals. Wins that run game, 9 rushes for 22 yards from the Jets in that first half. Starts at the 30, and it stops right away with a false start.
False start. Offense number 5. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Garrett Wilson, the receiver.
It's been an interesting first half. It really was. We've seen Aaron Rodgers with those quick throws, and 84% of the yards for him coming after the catch. And for Russell Wilson on the other side, whether it's pass interference or completion, the deeper balls down the field has been their best shot.
15, pulled it down, comes back to Wilson, rushing at the first down mark. The 43-yard line. He takes a hit. Minka Fitzpatrick, Peyton Wilson hit him there. But a first down for the Jets.
Space, that's what we're talking about here, that you've got better weapons on the field, so the defense has to disperse itself to cover all those. Look at the two guys at the top of the screen up there on Davante Adams. You pump that way, you come back, and there's the space that you look for.
And still without their right guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, he's out. Xavier Newman playing over there. 43, all running left. Down by Alex Highsmith, no gain. All right, that first half, first with Davante.
Yeah, it started out a little bit shaky on their first round, just unable to connect on that one, but that was about it. And it's these intelligence routes, that's what I'm going to call them. When the wide receiver and the quarterback are on the same page, a little push off and a slip, but you see all these little throws. Those things add up, Mike. I mean, that's going to be 30, 35 yards in the first half. You add it up by the end of this game, he'll be right at 100, because you know eventually he's going to hit something down the field.
See out there for all but 2 snaps. Second and 10, slant moves and caught right in midfield. Rodgers goes down at the end, a couple of yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, and these quick throws are just a great idea. There's Russell Wilson over there, got it going a little bit at the end of the half. But you're protecting your quarterback here too. You're doing a great job of chipping and helping on TJ Watt. You also have Tyron Smith, who is left one-on-one on the other side against Alex Highsmith, getting it done. He's the one with all the pressure on him because they have to help on Watt.
TJ working on Morgan Moses. Used to play for the Ravens. Those guys have done this a time or two. Rodgers, incomplete for Adams on 3rd and 2 as he was getting pressure by the aforementioned Alex Highsmith. It's a punt.
Saved the first down, no question about it. Highsmith got just enough pressure here, and he has sort of been all over Aaron Rodgers when it's mattered here tonight. You could see Aaron had to flip it across his body and missed it.
TJ Watt was the one who told us he was so excited to get that man back in the lineup. The bookend on the other side. Thomas Morstead for the pin. Instead it's returned by Calvin Austin. Takes it outside the 20-yard line. So good job by Austin. About 10 yards out of that return. Steelers down 2 in the ball here. Early 3rd. Good matchup on Sunday Night Football.
throws that we saw, and right away a little difference. As he started to hit a couple of these, you could see the confidence grow. You could see the Steelers offense begin to move, and that is the difference. If you want to say what is the biggest difference between the two quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I would say those touch throws would be my answer.
There is Fields, did not play in that first half. 4-2 as the starter. It's exactly the way he ended his run in Chicago. 4-2 his last 6 with the Bears. Wilson takes over the 21. And Najee Harris had an opening. He's down quickly by Jalen Mills. Sauce Gardner is on the field for the Jets, as Jeff Ulbrich told Melissa Stark. But Tony Adams, the safety, is not to start this second half.
I do want to say one thing about Justin Fields. When he was asked about getting benched, I thought he gave the classiest answer I have seen out of a young player. I just thought it was incredible. And if you want to build your franchise around somebody with that kind of answer, he would be my kind of guy.
Pushes that forward. It's an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. Set up third down. As Wilson was being tracked by Quinnen Williams and Michael Clemens. You bring up a good point about Fields and Mike Tomlin's decision. And as Mike said, there was good. There's just a little bit more that they wanted to see from Fields. We'll see if Wilson gives that to the offense. So far, it's been about what they expect, except on third down. They have not converted a third down yet tonight.
Third down and red zone are the hardest parts of playing offense in the NFL, and it's going to take some time.
Yes.
Juggling going on out here tonight. Off the hands, off the helmet. Let's flip it out one more time. Catch it again. And here we go, Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, this game has had a little bit of everything, but the success that Russell Wilson has had tonight and through his career, those touch passes, those deep passes.
37 on the game. Play action, third time to this well. Darnell Washington. That time the Jets a little more on it. Quincy Williams, first team All-Pro linebacker over there to make the stop.
Yep, Quincy Williams and his brother Quinnen Williams, two of the stars on this team. Quincy was first team All-Pro in 23. And this is a pair that, of course, Quinnen Williams got a little bigger contract than
he did.
Brother did, you know. Speaking of brothers.
Yep, Hayward brothers with Cam Hayward and brother Connor on offense for Pittsburgh. Harris the runner, 34-yard line. Talk about the Williams brothers. This is their 4th year together, which is a couple of years older. Talk about that often, but what a great experience for both of them in the New York market. Two brothers, both have played well. One the big contract, one the All-Pro. Pretty neat story.
Yeah, and Quincy, he was former junior Olympic swimmer. How about that for a linebacker? I don't think I've ever heard that story.
In field goal range, 3rd and 5. Jets bring the heat. Great blitz pick up.
What? Yes.
Terrific job. Blitz pick up to give Wilson the time. Steelers in the red zone looking to take the lead. Connor Hayward leads the way.
Got the first down. Yes.
But for Jalen Warren, I didn't think he looked like himself a week ago. Still coming back from the injury, but that looked much more like what we had seen out of him a year ago.
Look at his knee, missed a couple of games. They do get through the first down. It's first and goal. It's Warren. Stopped inside by this Jets defense. Second and goal, and Pickens and Najee Harris come on the field for Mike Tomlin. And he sends a message over to Arthur Smith.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? He had something specific, and if I know Mike Tomlin, I'm thinking this is the run. Now, I may be way wrong here, but he wants this offensive line to prove they can play Steelers football.
It'll be third down.
Well, that is one of those, if you're going to play that defense, you go to the line of scrimmage, you have 2 plays in mind. You got to run if they're playing a normal defense, but if they're just going to play one-on-one on your best guy, even though it's their best corner, you're going to take that throw.
That's on the replay. That's why they react. Calvin Austin. See what comes to the bottom of the screen on third and goal. Incomplete. No flag. I think it was tangled feet, causing the receiver to go down. Tangled feet, no pass interference. Go ahead, field goal attempt coming.
Right on the tail end of this thing, you're going to see the tangled feet. Nothing intentional at all. I thought they had a chance against Sauce in the back of the end zone. That would look like the easier throw. Didn't happen. And once again, red zone the issue.
Mini field goal. 21 yards for Boston.
Need the field goal.
Look, y'all know I'm the king.
Play on Peacock next Sunday. It is Arsenal taking on Liverpool. Liverpool most solid at the top of the table. Next Sunday exclusively on Peacock. Jeff Brady, Joe Willie Namath, Beaver Falls High School. Stand out in football, but from the garden basketball, outfielder in baseball. as you know, this Jets game, Joe Willie's number 12 is there. Of course, Aaron Rodgers took number 8 when he came to the Jets at the start of last year. He said, back to my college number, because number 12 for the New York Jets is Broadway Joe. Line drive kick that is fielded back to the one by Xavier Gibson. That kick up some blocking. It's crushed at the 23-yard line. Big hit by Jeremiah Moody.
Let's take a look at our next gen stats, powered by AWS, and this is all about Breece Hall and what he did after the catch there in that first half. 98 yards after the catch. It was simply spectacular. He only had 183 after the catch in the first 6 games and just explodes. And what a weapon for Aaron Rodgers now. He has the guys on the outside creating space and Breece Hall inside taking advantage of it.
Incomplete with a Landon Roberts over there on him. By the way, on that Pittsburgh defense, Dante Jackson has not been out there into the first half, started the second half at corner, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meantime, we haven't talked much TJ Watt, as you were mentioning earlier, Chris.
Well, I mean, that was priority one. Everybody that came in our meetings from the Jets said 4 hands, right? 4 hands. What does that mean? 2 bodies with both hands, or I guess it could be other math, but 2 bodies with 2 hands, always paying attention to TJ Watt.
It's off, yes.
this hit. On the return, Newman is coming over, and he makes the head-to-head contact. Patrick Queen runs into him. Newman goes right down and has been over there on the sideline with all the medical personnel over there attending to him. So as they do that, we'll step back out for a moment. Pittsburgh, they continue to look at the Jets' offensive lineman Xavier Newman, who had played in all 6 games this year just on special teams. We're seeing his first offensive action, and after that interception, had the collision with Patrick Queen and went down. Melissa Stark is over there on the sideline. Melissa, what have you observed?
So, Mike, we're standing right by here, and we saw the athletic training staff come over immediately, and all the players surround him, and the first thing they did was stabilize his neck. He is conscious. They took his face mask off, and he was visibly upset. We have not seen him move any limbs at this point. They spine boarded him, and they put him on the gurney. Players are coming over and rubbing his legs and talking to him, and they are preparing to take him off the field.
Okay, Melissa, thank you. There's a meeting that we've talked about often over the last couple of years with all the medical staff that is here behind the scenes, 30 folks in all, and in a situation like this, they take the player to one of the local hospitals, one of the level 1 trauma centers, and get the absolute best of care. So immediate concern for Xavier Newman and for the players on both sides as well. So as they continue to tend to Newman, we'll step out one more time. the sets of EMTs and paramedics on hand. Xavier Newman of the Jets being taken off. He'll be taken to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, the level 1 trauma hospital 4 miles from the stadium, where there's a specialist in all the different areas of medicine there to give him the absolute best care, as both medical teams work to make sure that Newman has the best, as we wish him and his family the best as he was taken off. So after the interception, the Steelers have the ball. They're inside the 1. It's first and goal. Wilson is keeping and sneaking, and it's pushed to the goal line. And he is short for the moment. Let's see. Down judge and line judge in there. No signal on a conversation. Touchdown. Behind, and there is nothing to see.
They say good luck. Wow, what a turn of events. A perfect throw by Aaron Rodgers, bounces off the chest of his young superstar Garrett Wilson, down to the 1-yard line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
It's a Steeler team that went down 15-6 after the Jets scored the 2-point conversion. Waiting to see if this touchdown will be confirmed via replay. Wow, replay center in New York.
Well, now they would have to overturn it that way. Once they rule it a touchdown on the field, you got to see something in that mess to overturn it. And I don't know how you're going to see that.
And New York will continue on. Nothing they see to overturn it. So the call on the field will stay. Interesting that that play would have been one where you bring in Justin Fields because he's big, and we've seen him do that a lot already this season.
Well, and I was thinking that with Russell Wilson, and he got hurt pushing a sled, and that's sort of that same movement.
I thought the signal was that the touchdown was confirmed.
Touchdown is confirmed.
Okay, there you go.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock. 7 minutes and 15 seconds. 7:15 on the game clock, please.
So we go back to where the score happened. So Wilson runs one in. He has a touchdown throw as well here tonight. And the 2 Rodgers interceptions have turned into 2 Pittsburgh touchdowns. And Chris Boswell's extra point makes it 23-15. Pittsburgh on top halfway through this third quarter. Well, we've been telling you the things that Mike Tomlin was telling us. Tomlin talk is rampant around Pittsburgh. Standard is the standard, right? Well, he has equaled the standard of Noel in power, if not surpassed it, by that average and by the 17 seasons without a losing record. Only Landry and Belichick better. Not a fan of moral victories, Mike says. Fan of championships. And the standard here, as you said before, Chris, is the Lombardi Trophy. 5 consecutive postseason losses doesn't do that, and that in part is a little bit of the foundation and the fuel for the decision we're seeing at quarterback right now.
Yeah, no question about it, and good patience on the part of the Steelers. And Russell Wilson, after the first couple of drives, started looking like the Russell Wilson, and I think it took a little while for them to start figuring out, and Arthur Smith, the play calling, and exactly what was going to work best for Russ, and I'm sure there was that communication going on the sideline.
This is returnable, and this is Isaiah Davis, who slips and falls and gets back up. He'll be brought back down at the 26-yard line. Jets ball right there.
All right, let's take a look at the Walmart Plus 4K Sky Cam, and as you might imagine, when you get a player of his caliber, you are going to get a lot of attention, and that has been Breece Hall on occasion, it has been Tyler Conklin, and then they sort of just pass it off to the big guy, Morgan Moses, out there, and basically TJ Watt has had to beat 2 people on every single play here tonight.
And thus 0 pressures on 24 rushes. Breece Hall. So Elijah Vera Tucker went out in the first half. Just saw the injury that happened with Xavier Newman as he was taken to the hospital for further examination. So Jake Hansen, third player in at right guard for the Jets. Second year out of Oregon, played mostly center during his time with the Ducks. Lazard heads off to the sideline.
Bit of a rare one-on-one for TJ Watt on the outside here. But what we're seeing now is the possibility of Allen Lazard being the number 3 receiver. So remember what that means. He went from being number 2 to number 3 now, and so he is getting James Pierre where that would have ordinarily fallen to one of the better players out there.
Comes out for a moment. Mike Williams in the game for the Jets. 46-yard line. Hall knocks it upfield. So good with that foot in the ground to take off to the 41-yard line. Pick up a 13 for the Jets back.
You see what TJ Watt did there. He's going to create a wall right there. So no choice for Hall, but this is really his strength running the football. When he puts that right foot in the ground and goes downhill and accelerates the way that he can, you see some special qualities. He is a wide receiver type coming out of the backfield, and with those kinds of runs, some weapon for this Jets offense.
Number 32, wearing some screws on 15 touches tonight. Rodgers floating it towards Hall, incomplete. As Highsmith and Tyron Smith were in a battle, and Highsmith is on 2 knees saying, "Come on, he took me down."
Well, it's interesting because on that play, Breece Hall was coming across and everybody thought he was going to double team, including Patrick Quinn, who got caught a little bit inside. And as Aaron tried to drop it in over the top, had he been able to hit that, there was plenty of space.
There are the 2 edge rushers, Highsmith and Watt. Melissa Stark.
Yeah, Mike, we have a quick update on Jets offensive lineman Xavier Newman. He has left for the hospital. The ambulance is on his way, but we can tell you he had movement in his limbs. He squeezed the athletic training staff's hands, so a great sign there.
What was the first thing you want to hear?
Fantastic. I mean, really, it's almost hard to breathe sometimes when you get in those situations. That's fantastic.
Makes it a 5-point game. Zerline has struggled. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, I don't think you have any choice here. Aaron Rodgers, very creative, trying to get this little screen around. Couldn't do it the first time. Found a way the second time to set up this short yardage play. But remember, they are pretty deep on that offensive line right now due to some injuries.
They're going 4 receivers, 1 tight end, no back. Lazard back in the game. 4th and 1. Rodgers over the middle. It's caught by Mike Williams for the first down at the 17-yard line. So Williams, who has played sparingly, just over a third of the snaps here tonight, called out by Rodgers at the end of the game last week. Didn't come to practice the first couple of days. Practiced Friday. In the lineup tonight, makes a big catch.
You know what? Give him credit. You know, he was embarrassed. I'm sure he was mad. They make the trade for Davante Adams, and he comes right back with a huge conversion. He may be playing as much for other teams tonight as he is for the New York Jets. Who knows?
On the 18, Rodgers left it open. Escapes and throws on the run to the 1, incomplete. Gibson trying to keep himself in bounds. He could not. Meantime, Aaron Rodgers may have banged his hand over the last couple of snaps here. All bloody. There it is, left hand.
Yeah, that doesn't bother him. That works. When it's on the other hand, it just kind of messes with you. You know, you just think about it. Not that he hasn't had plenty in his day, but they really need the touchdown right here. Got Devontae Adams out here on the hottest DB around, Beanie Bishop in the slot.
Play clock out. Rodgers trying to get the timeout. Too late. Flag thrown by the back judge. Let's see, as they discuss which one happened first.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock, first charge timeout. New York, 30 seconds.
Two timeouts. That was a close one. Play clock as it comes down. Watch the back judge right next to the upright there. The goalpost, I should say. You can see through the flag as Rodgers turned, but at the same time, Terry kind of let that go as gave him the timeout.
Yeah, historically, we've always given him the timeout when it's that close to the expiration of play clock.
Thanks. Dino Paganelli, the back judge, is back there in a quick conversation with Sean Smith. Jets down to 2 timeouts. It's 2nd and 10. few times before. Jamie Sherwood and the Jets have that one figured out.
Yeah, we're starting to see Russ get on the move a little bit more and a little bit more on the edge, and some of the touch passes that come off of that, working over there on Rodgers' hand, I'm sure. That was too good a drive to come away with nothing.
Jets field goal kicking woes continue. As Zerline has a short field goal block. Side run there. Not much. And a good tackle by Javon Kinlaw. Throws Najee Harris down. It'll be third down. See if the Jets defense can get a 3 now. Get the ball right back to Rodgers.
Yeah, Javon Kinlaw, he had a good year last year for him, 3.5 sacks. And I'll tell you what I like about what I'm seeing out of Kinlaw is he's back to using his quickness to make plays. He went around the back side there of the guard and still had the speed to go make that play.
Jets secondary all beat up, trying to get the right matchups.
Lasso!
Sherwood, the linebacker out there, covering fire move. 3rd and 8. Wilson escapes, throws. It's complete. Return to get the first down. What a run by Jalen Warren to get the first down. The injured player for the Jets, and it is one of their DBs. Ashton Davis, 21, is hurt.
Going to see a lot of speed coming off here, and pure Russell Wilson here, just all instinct. And that was a very nice catch as well, and run on the part of Jalen Warren, who's made some big plays out here.
It's Davis going for the tackle here, Chris, and he gets hit, and he is being helped off the field. As he took a lick when he got that hit. And this Jets team that came in without 3 starters already in this game. There's the knee to the head as he went down to make the tackle.
The concussions that I had in my career happened either like that or with somebody pinning your arms against you and you fall straight backwards and you can't do anything about it.
Jets are running very low on defensive backs. First and 10 for the Steelers. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Waiting for him. His first down gain of about 5. The Steelers teams run it 20 times for 64 yards. They have 217 in the air from their quarterback.
I tell you, Mike, they have come in with 2 tight ends now and a little attitude. They're running those duo runs, 3 double teams across the front end of the offensive line and just letting Jalen Warren go to work.
Sheffield is playing corner with Sauce Gardner. Mills and Oliver, the safeties for the Jets. 2nd and 5, Wilson rolls it out, throws to Pickens. Fighting for those extra yards. He's got the first down right around midfield as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. All 10 points for Pittsburgh. After 3, Steelers 23, Jets 50. Sunday Night Football continues. Western PA. Anthony's Western.
Alexis, show alternate routes. Sometimes it's a work in progress. Other times it's pretty well thought out. The tech forward and tech ready Lexus NX.
I know. What are you rich as hell? We're gonna give you that.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard, I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
results or no action.
United Way of the Coastal Empire improves lives through the caring power of this community.
Join us in improving the lives of our children, neighbors, and this region. Give today at uwce.org.
WSAV is on your side after
59 registered voters in Bryan County received this letter in the mail last week. It informed them their voter registration is being called into question.
It is all because of a state statute that allows a registered voter to question another person's qualifications.
WSAV is digging deeper.
I just think it's voter suppression, and I think it needs to be stopped.
Follow the story at WSAV.com/voter challenge.
Granger Nissan has over 300 Nissans available.
In Beaufort and Savannah.
Sunday night, we go out to the West Coast. Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers has been a playoff game the last couple of years. These guys made to work to get to the playoffs in the second half of the season. It's a very important game in the NFC. Niners losing to the undefeated team like the Kansas City Chiefs. Cowboys have this Sunday off. Cowboys-Niners, Sunday Night Football. Next, Ashton Davis heading back to the locker room to be checked out. As we begin the fourth quarter, Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, news analyst Terry McCauley in the studio. Steelers didn't give up a point in the third quarter. That's the truth all year. And they keep scoring.
Always going for it.
It's on the run. Inside the 20 to the 16. 34 on the game.
Mason McCormick is going to lead the way up and through on this power play. Najee Harris set it up great inside, really pressed the hole inside, and these two backs now are having a day. You just wonder if this battle of attrition now is starting to take a toll on this Jets defense.
Harris, as you see, more than 5 per carry. I did. I heard it too from you.
Watch this. How do you not do it, new Christopher? You know, it's like impossible. That was a tremendous inside the hole move that time by Najee Harris.
They're doing it at 6'1", 242. Gain of 4, second and 6.
What's that? Reach it on! You gotta go for 4. What's that? Reach it, good
First down, yes.
Getting it done inside, and let's give a little credit to Ryan McCollum, who's coming right out here. Watch the way that he leads this block. Come out on the outside, seal that block, leave that cutback lane wide open. When you get to a point center and have them play like this, very important.
In the 7th game of the season. First and goal, Pittsburgh. Harris. Stopped right there by Jamian Sherwood. Sherwood became much more of a big part of this Jets defense when C.J. Mosley got hurt. Had a chance to visit with him last night. Got a hand broken, all clubbed up on the right side, but he's become a more vocal leader on this defense. Kind of had to.
Yeah, he leads them in tackles, too. Look at him, man. He's taking over the huddle out there. And I tell you, C.J. Mosley was really impressed with the growth that he's shown.
Second and goal. Frymuth in motion.
What's that? Good shot.
Play action. Looking. It's covered. Trying to keep it alive. And Wilson to the end zone. Incomplete for Pickens. A third and goal.
Just a great job of coverage by the Jets, as thin as they are out there on the outside at cornerback, to be able to execute that little bit of trickery by the tight ends. Then on the other side, it simply was Pickens trying to get himself open against Sauce. Too tight for the taste of Russell Wilson.
Jalen Warren in here now, Chris, on third down. Van Jefferson. The Receiver coming over here in motion to the same side as Pickett. Third and goal.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Scores a touchdown against the team that his dad is the receiver coach for.
You're going to get a little help from your friends out here. A little semi-pick, rub, whatever you want to call it. Make that corner bounce over the top. All you have to do, very professionally done that time by George Pickens. And not get wrong.
Boswell kick is the 24th straight point by the Steelers. They were down 15-6. Van Jefferson catches one against Dad's team. The Steelers are doubling up the Jets.
And now your action weather broadcast.
early on. Started in 1933, 92nd season, an immaculate reception. Fake play was their first playoff win. It's won a lot of playoff games and big moments since. Jets take over at the 30. Melissa, what about Aaron Rodgers' hand?
Yeah, we saw his bloody hands. The athletic training staff came over, cleaned out the wound, put a glue, a sterile glue, kind of like super glue to hold it together. Something to keep an eye on.
Right, we will watch. So now it becomes throw ball and try to rally. Davante Adams added to the receiver mix. Jets not out of this one. No catches for Adams in the second half.
Now you got to block Highsmith, Hayward, and
Porter Jr., son of Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator. Before the game, he watched the motion here with Wilson and calls the flag. And he said, I said a couple weeks when Joey Porter Jr. just keeps evolving. Run game, everything. He's become a complete corner. It's been great to watch.
And they've been doing this tonight without Dante Jackson, their other guy.
In 68, Deshaun Elliott, the safety position. Most of the penalty yards back. 3rd and 11 coming up.
You know Deshaun Elliott's one of my favorite players on this Steelers team. He had such a significant role because what he has enabled them to do is be that box safety so that they can leave Minkah Fitzpatrick on the back end. And you think, well, Minkah doesn't have the stats that he usually does. Well, he is keeping the ball out of the end zone. This was a defense that gave up too many big plays this season ago.
Deep drop, Rodgers. Steps up, fires in the middle, complete to Lazard at the 47-yard line. Good throw, gain of 19, first down, Jets.
And tremendous job by the offensive line, first of all. You run these deep crossing routes, it takes at least 3 seconds. But as they begin to clear, this is something for Aaron Rodgers. Just sees it, Lazard sits down in the hole and almost dropped the ball. I've seen too many Aaron Rodgers games to think this was it. Here we go.
Protected here. Conklin, the tight end. Dave Wilson, the rookie. Hog ties him, brings him down. Gain of a yard. Not much with Conklin in the tight end spot tonight. Second catch.
You know, one of the things the Jets defenders and the Steelers defenders, rather, do so well is when they try to stiff arm them, their first thing is they knock that hand off of them and they go make the tackle. We've seen that probably 4 or 5 times here tonight.
TJ Watt, that left hand in the ground. Trying to take a return to the quarterback.
Another false start.
That's on Tyron Smith.
Yeah, Tyron struggled a week ago. He really did, but much, much better here tonight. And he's always the one that's going to carry the burden. He's always the one that's going to have the one-on-one blocks. The help's going to go the other way. So a lot expected from him.
Under 2 minutes in regulation. Rodgers on the slip. Wilson on the run, taking off. Inside the 35. Garrett Wilson down at the 31-yard line.
I don't know who needed that one more, Aaron Rodgers or Garrett Wilson. He's had a few misplays here tonight, but then you get a little flavor of what is possible, of why the Devontae Davis thinks he's going to be fitted for a gold jacket one day, and how he can't wait to help him get there.
5 catches now, 61 yards. That was the longest of the night to Wilson. 27-yard gain. Rodgers closing in on 300 yards. Conklin, tight end. Steelers waiting. Sidney Pierre on the tackle. Gain of 6. Again, Jets score and tighten this thing up quickly.
Yeah, and Wilson for the Steelers really has become that coverage linebacker. When they have to stop the run, you see a lot of Landon Roberts, but when it's pass time like now, Peyton Wilson is that guy.
Rodgers hand signals. Out towards Adams, going the other way, bouncing it. He throws the ball incomplete. Patrick Queen was knocking on the door of the quarterback. It'll lead to 3rd down.
That was some play by Keanu Benton inside, number 95. He was in the crowd. They're trying to block him. See him sneak out right over here. And he sees screen all the way. He's jumping around, wraps his arms around him. He had it nailed.
We had the shot before of Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator. It's in one of those big IHOP menus. Where it's a small little part of defense, but a lot of good people and a lot of good calls at the right time. Does a really good job. Doesn't get the credit
Adams. He can play outside, he can play on the edge. But man, when he fires a shot, he is going down.
Another false start.
With 12 on the field, but the Steelers got a timeout.
20 men on the field. First charge, timeout. Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin calls
Funny because I was
timeout.
looking at Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator, and he wasn't saying anything. Rodgers was just taking over at the line of scrimmage and going, and he almost caught the Steelers for the free 5. This is the third down play.
Yeah, it is. And the key is look how far off the ball he is. He's probably 10 yards off the ball. And yet when the catch is made, he's there to drive the receiver Conklin backwards.
Started his career with the Ravens. The Lions briefly in 22. Miami last year was a free agency addition by Omar Khan, the general manager of the Steelers.
Well, we don't see Aaron Rodgers run anywhere close to what he used to. And he's been getting the ball out quickly, but out of the spread formation, he got a look, he might.
4th and 4, Brees Hall's bottom of the screen. Rodgers down.
He did not get it, Scott.
And the Steelers defense has been fabulous from mid-second quarter on. They stopped the Jets on 4th down. The big names up front, Young and Ben make big names for themselves. Pittsburgh ball.
Week 8 kicks off with Thursday Night Football. Stream games live on your mobile device with NFL Plus.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Let's go places. And by Walmart Plus. Great Western Pennsylvania high school game. North Allegheny beat Pine Richmond 28-21. We grew to 8-1 in Pine Richmond, their first loss of the season. Of note, North Allegheny alum, Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter, the big Joey Porter, was playing ball here. He ended up in a couple of different high schools, including North Allegheny, one of the big powers in the area. Here he is, Penn State back here in the Berg, playing for the Steelers, and been a big factor here tonight. His defense needs to come up with a big play or a stop. Michael Clemens trying to do that on that 1-0 game there, and here's Melissa.
And that Jets defense you're talking about is playing without their safety, Tony Adams. He's doubtful with a hamstring injury, and then without safety, Ashton Davis, who went into the medical tent with the independent concussion specialist and then into the locker room where he is being evaluated for a concussion, Mike.
That's both their starting safeties. Remember, Chuck Clark who started last week, was the starting safety, is on injured reserve as he got injured against the Bills on Monday night. So
3 safeties, 2 corners.
That's blocked. Yes.
Sauce Gardner may have gotten picked, rubbed off on that particular play. But when you get this far down, 5 guys out of your starting secondary, you're going to see people running wide open. And that was just a tremendous play that time to get the downfield pick going against Sauce Gardner here. And nothing he could do. He couldn't get over the top. And he couldn't chase underneath.
39, Harris inside run forward to the 35. So the yardage number 264 for Russell Wilson on the night. That is the most in a debut by a Steeler quarterback. Breaking the record of Earl Morrall when he debuted with the Steelers back in the late 50s.
That Earl Morrall?
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh, one of my heroes.
Inside of 6 to go. Communication up front. Harris goes to the right. Sherwood and Mosley, guys stripping at the ball. The whistle blew, but Najee kept going. And forward progress back at the 33-yard line, setting up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that was close to. They did blow the whistle on that one. But Mike, you hit on something pre-snap there. Listening to Russell Wilson run this offense at the line of scrimmage, he's in complete control of it. And that was just a judgment call, nothing more than that. But Bears been fighting like that all night.
Toss. First down. To the 28-yard line, Isaac Seumalo out there. Dan Moore as well, hoping to pave the path as we go under 5 minutes of the Steelers in control.
This offensive line really deserves a lot of credit. And for Mike Tomlin to have to shift and push and move people around and all the different guys out of position, I mean, there are no excuses in Pittsburgh. There are no excuses whatsoever. And what they've been able to do, change quarterbacks, change
like this in the game
it's just sensational. We're talking about this team now being 5-2.
Kinlaw, Warren, loss of a yard. Chris, you mentioned Russell Wilson's command of the game. This is his 189th NFL game. So he's been so far around the block, right? As he said, won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl. So I've got both sides of what it is. But over the years, all those double-digit wins in Seattle, we kind of forgot because it feels like it's been forever. Bad season in Seattle, then goes to Denver. Look, it was disappointing. First season, he said he didn't play well. Last year, he thought he played well. Remember, they had a 5-game run. After they were 1-5, he won 5 in a row. And then the injury guarantee and the contract was pulled. Wilson was pitched the last 2 games. Texas Warren here, who tried his best to stay in bounds, and they really did. So Jeff Ulbrich will bang a timeout with 3:28 left here in regulation.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to evaluate what we've seen here tonight, the first couple of series, I was like, oh boy, I don't know. Russ doesn't exactly look like himself, but you got to give it a little bit of time. But then when they started opening up the offense, and if you had studied the Pittsburgh Steelers, you would have thought, all right, they're not going to throw the ball down the field. They're not going to attack us in that way. And yet having Russell Wilson in the game has opened up and stretched this offense vertically, which has then opened up possibilities running the football inside.
Right, because we were asking Mike Tomlin, well, Fields is such a good runner. You have a dynamic running attack. Yeah, but if Wilson can throw the ball effectively, then that may open the running attack.
That's exactly right. So there's 2 ways to think about it. Do you keep your better running quarterback in there, or do you start throwing the ball down the field and make those defenders back off and all of a sudden now you can do both.
Right at the first down, it'll be a first down as the pile keeps moving. And Warren keeps fighting in there. We're seeing a lot of that attitude here with the Steelers. A win here tonight, moments away from Pittsburgh. We get them to 5-2. Baltimore plays at Tampa. That's a pretty good game tomorrow night. Cincinnati gets a win trying to get on their roll. Cleveland 1-6. Then Deshaun Watson Achilles injury today. Marco just short. It's going to be fourth down. So the offense stays out. On the other side, what I alluded to before, Chris, if the Jets don't make a miraculous comeback, and Mike Tomlin's going to challenge the spot here.
It's flag.
Jets don't make a comeback. They're 3 behind Buffalo, who they lost to last week. So that's 3.5 games essentially out before the halfway point of the season.
Let's go challenge.
Time will tick quickly, and the margin for error is disappearing for the guys in green.
Well, the hard part is this team.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was short of the line of game. Players under review.
You want to hold that thought? Are provided by Nationwide. This is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Remember Mr. Rogers, public broadcaster, Fred Rogers, Pittsburgh.
It's a beautiful day.
Great exhibit at the Heinz History Center. This Mr. Rogers is very happy. However, this Mr. Rogers has had better days.
Yeah, Pittsburgh just lost his timeout.
The score 15-6, 24 straight. So that's where they spotted the ball. That's the mark. They're that close. So it's fourth and a couple of chain links, and the offense stays out for the Steelers.
Aaron's over there thinking, can you believe Beanie Bishop is going to beat me out here tonight?
Rookie with 2 interceptions on the night. Fourth and inches. Russell Wilson trying to sneak it. They grab it. Still able to move forward. We'll see where the spot is. Close to the 18-yard line.
Did he drop that snap? Bobble it?
Something with it. It was moved away from his body to the left. Maybe a peek, though. A pile, 2:29 left. One timeout for the Jets. Sean Smith's got the ball. So he's going to have to put it down and get all the bodies out of the way. As they do, we welcome those of you who watch the Dodgers clinch their spot in the World Series by beating the Mets to win the National League Championship Series in 6-8. Yankees, Dodgers, World Series ahead. Ball has finally been marked. First down.
Just was down.
Tonight, he has been in very tight quarters, once for the touchdown, once for the first down, and he's gotten it done. It wasn't beautiful, but he got it done.
Javon Kinlaw got in there, jumped the pile like a Landon Roberts did last 2 Sunday nights ago against Dallas, and then they just kept pushing on bodies and all that stuff. Almost impossible to figure out. A challenge flag.
And it's just a coach's good challenge.
And so this will be reviewed. So Here's Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets for about a quarter century now, and he was very adamant about kind of going all in here. Going back really to acquiring Aaron Rodgers a couple of years ago, making the Davante Adams trade happen, the change in head coach, with Robert Saleh being moved out. And he even said at the press conference with the Saleh, or at least the media availability when Saleh was fired, hey, Hassan Reddick, come talk to us, get your deal, come on up from Jersey. And Reddick did agree to a deal today, so he'll be at the Jets facility Monday, double-digit sack guy, coming to the Jets in the next few weeks.
All right, this is going to be very unlike me. I'm going to try to be Mr. Optimistic.
You?
Yeah. So let's say, I mean, they get Davante in the mix here for, the middle of the week. You get Reddick back in here. These cornerbacks are going to get healthy and come back in here. The defense wasn't up to the standard of the Jets tonight.
No, not at all.
It wasn't,
not
right? It just wasn't.
A couple weeks in a row.
Yes.
Right.
But we've seen flashes now of this offense that if they can piece the whole thing around, there is a way.
Really on the field stands.
Yes, he lost his timeout.
There's just a path. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's just a path. And there's nobody in the AFC who is just going, other than Kansas City, you just go, oh my gosh, we can't beat them. They can compete with anybody. They just got to get their stuff together.
Kansas City and Baltimore seem to be up. Pittsburgh's up here too now. They're 5-2. Pittsburgh belongs in the conversation, don't they?
I think this may be the best story in football this year. To be able to take two quarterbacks that weren't on your roster a season ago and somehow manufacture what has turned into a 5-2 season at this point. Every once in a while, somebody... I read some article about Mike Tomlin and he's not this and they don't win that and the playoffs and all that sort of stuff. And boy, we should look around. Like, are you crazy? I mean, every time I hear that, I'm like, that guy would be snatched up by at least 80% of the teams that are out there.
Reached the 2-minute warning.
They take it easy on you. They just want you to get to the game on Sunday.
And he said yes.
And he said, yes, we absolutely lose people that way, and he doesn't care. He says, if that's why they're not coming, I don't want them anyway.
2-minute warning here. 52 years old, Chris. This is going to be win 178 in his coaching career. He's sitting there as he closes in on the most all-time Steeler wins maybe over the next couple of years. Win percentage is right there at the top with Noel and Cowher, and the numbers with those three they all add up to excellence, plain and simple.
Well, I tell you, if Cam Hayward can stay healthy and play the way that he's been playing, with TJ on the other side and Highsmith, it's a good-looking team.
Najee Harris on the run to the right. Twisted down at the 10-yard line. So for those of you who may have watched the Mets, and obviously growing up in New York, there were so many folks who rooted for the Mets and the Jets because they shared Shea Stadium in Queens for 20 years. Here are the Davante Adams numbers. Chris, go beyond the numbers. What'd you see?
I thought he balanced the field for the Jets. I really did. And I didn't see enough in the second half of some of those cheap throws that we saw in the first half. Just put him in there in the slot and let him work with Aaron Rodgers. And when there's a quick gap in the defense, let Rodgers find him, get the ball, catch and run, do some of the things that make that group magical. They're both gifted physically, but what they can do mentally together was taken advantage of in the first half, I thought, more than the second half.
Jay Warren short of the first down. His fourth down. The Jets will go to New England and then have the quick turn for the second time this year, play a Thursday night game against Houston on Halloween at MetLife. They will be a 2-5 team when they go to Foxborough. The Giants come in here next Monday night. If the Steelers get that, they'll hit the bye at 6-2. And remember, Pittsburgh hasn't played a division game yet. There's 6 division games against Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Come in the final final 8 weeks of the season. That's why Mike Tomlin's going to take a timeout here before the play clock runs out. That's why Mike Tomlin wanted to get this quarterback thing figured out and decided over the next 2 or 3 games, because they play the Giants, have the bye, and then we'll play Washington, and then the division run begins.
And what was his line? I want to eliminate the space of controversy out there over my quarterback. I want to know myself. I want my team to know, because when we hit this part of our schedule right here, when we start jumping into those games that are against the guys in our division, I want answers. I don't want questions. I don't want to answer your questions that you're asking me here today. And you know what? They're a different team. This is a much better passing offense tonight.
Chevy postgame. Moments away, Melissa interviews the star of the game. We'll look ahead to next Sunday night in Santa Clara, the Cowboys and the 49ers, 2 teams that are going to be very desperate for a win. Right after the game, Chevy postgame. 4th and 2. Final 30 seconds here. Both teams done with timeouts.
Touchdown, Jeff. The game's over.
Season